Hello everyone, it's Serpent and welcome back to another episode on iCraft. In the last episode, we did some stuff with that thing, and it turned out pretty well, but we need to load it now. We need to do some chunk loading, and for that, we need a massive tunnel, and then we also need a whole bunch of hoppers in order to put the items in and over the chunk boundaries and all that, and then we get a loaded area, and then we also need a big long redstone line in order to turn it on and off. So the first thing is the redstone. Really, we don't have enough redstone for the whole line, or at least we didn't until I dug the tunnel and got all the ores from it. Yeah, I've already dug the tunnel, and I've already gotten the redstone and the hoppers from the iron that I found in the tunnel. Yeah. Oh, I wasn't good. Oh, whatever. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. So I dug the tunnel all the way from here over to spawn. We need the tunnel because I don't want to put the hoppers over ground because that's ugly. But I dug the tunnel. It's about 1,800 blocks. So, rest in peace. Yeah, we dug the tunnel 1,800 blocks. Some of it's in deep ocean, which is a big pain because apparently deep ocean goes all the way down to bedrock. Anyway, it's all done now though. So that leaves us with the slightly more interesting task of loading all the chunks. Emphasis on slightly. it's not that much more interesting. Yeah. So let's I guess let's just jump in there. I was just thinking right now, as I said that sentence, which is probably why it didn't come out well. I was thinking why how we can do this a little bit efficiently, because you need more redstone than there is than you can hold in your inventory. Or wait, just a second. Let's see. I'm pretty sure we need all this. Actually, you can hold that in your inventory. It'll just go down into the hotbar too. Okay, so I'm going to unload a whole bunch of stuff into a chest, and then we'll have enough space to carry all this redstone. Let's see, something like that. On my stake, potion fire resistance, torch, probably the sword too. Is a good idea. Yeah, it's a 1,800 block tunnel, and it's not fun coming back through it. Still need more. I still need more space. I can do that. That gets me one extra slot. And then I also need 2 stacks of blocks. So toodle by sword and torches, because I need blocks. Oh, hello. If I had a name tag, I'd name him, but and keep him, but I don't. Okay. So I'm just going to run along the whole tunnel and place this redstone line in. So let me explain how this is working. I wasn't sure how we'd be able to send a redstone signal to where we need to send a redstone signal, because the chunks. Hold on. The redstone. I wasn't sure redstone loaded chunks or anything, but turns out it does. And we can just send a redstone line, and it'll load the chunks a little temporarily in order to turn on the chunk loader at the other end that we'll be putting there. So I think that's about that, and I should probably just get started. that redstone line there stretches all the way back to our base, and now I'm just going to I'm just going to keep walking back along the tunnel, and at all these intersections, I'll just I'll do that. Basically, yeah, that, and then that, etc. As you may have noticed in those time lapses, we've finished now, and now it's time to, well, okay, we finished the tunnel, but we didn't finish the chunk loading itself. We also need to put a bunch more chunk loaders around the chunk that this is in order to load it as an entity processing chunk. And then we also need to create a toggle switch over at the other end of this line, so that the so that the thing isn't constantly loaded and constantly producing lag. So we have let's just do the same thing I did when I made that map of the end in the single player world. That chunk is loaded, that chunk is loaded, and that chunk is loaded. So now we need to load these chunks over here. This one, that one, and a bunch more in a 5x5 area. So I'm going to do these ones above ground, because this isn't permanent. That whole tunnel is permanent, but this area that we have the current machine in isn't permanent. So I want it to be pretty easy to remove everything. And right now everything's easy to move. It's mostly just been this tunnel and the designing of that. Now that we have it designed, it's easy to move. But yeah. Okay, so this is actually going to be really easy. Sorry, that for some reason that last word came out all I don't know, smarmily. Anyway, that's one chunk loaded. Yeah, so we do that, and then that one over there needs loading, so pop that in, and then also this one, right? Yep, this one. I'll just be doing this until we have a 5x5 area of loaded chunks. You will probably be pleased to note that I have decided to make them slightly more easy on the eyes than I had originally planned. They're not that bad anymore. They're just sort of interesting spots of weirdness, as opposed to ugly lumps and out-of-place pieces of wood. Anyway, I think all the chunks should be loaded. However, the thing about this whole project is that you can't really tell whether it's worked or not until you test it. So if I've made a mistake anywhere along that whole line there, then it won't work, and I have to go back and check the whole thing. So let's hope that's not the case. And as I was just about to go test it, of course it turns nighttime, so no. Time to sleep then. Okay, so it's tested. I mean, no, it's not tested. We've slept. And now I was sort of hoping that we could test it. So let's push this button, and I'm going to go off to my base, my starter base, and pick up some enchanted books, sure. So let's try it out. Whip. Ah, nice, first try. Okay, so while that's running, we'll go over. I'll probably make a cut here, so yeah. One thing about this whole prospect is that it does sort of put a little bit of pressure on you. You have to get there in time, and you have to set the timer right. I think I've padded my I think I've padded my schedule a little, my timer a little, to 3 minutes. I doubt it'll take 2, so that's probably not going to be a problem. But it does instill a slight sense of urgency, regardless, because if it didn't work, then we're teleported back, and we've lost an ender pearl, and we haven't gotten our stuff, and we have to make another trip. However, even if we do get teleported back early, that's assuming we get it right the second time. That's still just breaking even with what we would normally, with what it would normally take to do the whole errand. So, let's see. I'll take the power. Fire protection is good. Normal protection is good. I already got fire protection. Although, do I have respiration? Yeah, I do. We can put that back. Curse binding. Keep that. Protection 1. Nah. I think I'll take my pick back, though. Yeah. Okay, let's check the fish farm. I was hoping for depth strider, but I don't think that's there, so aqua affinity would be good too. Let's see. Any aqua affinity? We're probably getting pretty close here. Aqua affinity. Hello. I know this is so interesting, the the searching through books, and I'm not really giving myself a good place to cut. But there's an aqua affinity. Okay, mending is always nice. I'll just take the mending books and store them over there. Sure. Well, I guess 3 minutes was a little too long, eh? I think I'll take some fish though. I do need some food. And I'm picking up junk as I throw it onto the ground. Okay. Yeah. Cha-ching. And I got an extra stack of fish somehow. Nice. Ha 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 ha. All the pieces are back in. Joy, joy, happiness. And that also means, guess what? All our chunk loaders are good, because that would not have happened if the chunk loading hadn't worked. Because, well, okay, maybe it would work if the chunk loading hadn't worked if I'd only been gone for, say, a minute. I'm not entirely sure how quickly chunks unload, but I think it's pretty instantly. And however, the if you go through a nether portal, it takes 10 seconds before stuff unloads, assuming you're in a 1.9 or above. Otherwise, it's 60 seconds. Anyway, that works, so that's pretty fantastic. And now it's time for us to work on the toggle switch. So, you may notice that this isn't the iCraft world. Big surprise, I'm sure most of you thought it was. And what is this? Well, this is a toggleable chunk loader thingy. You can see that this hopper is facing into the boundary of a chunk, or it would be if I'd placed it right. And what happens is there's an item in there. See, item. Give it a button push, no item. Give it another button push, and there's an item back in there. So this is the manner in which we chunk load items. I mean chunk load chunks. Also, there's a couple droppers on top to decrease lag, which brings me to my next point. I did actually craft about 2 stacks of droppers, but I've lost them, so I'm not putting them on just yet, because first I need to find them. Yeah, anyway. So we'll put this on probably 2 or 3 of the chunk loaders nearest to spawn, the ones right on the boundary, and that will allow us to toggle the whole string of chunk loading on and off to make sure that we aren't permanently lagging up the server. Only in the I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes that we're using it at a time, and even then not much, because most of them are not entity processing chunks, and they're just, I mean, it's only 150 of them. I mean, it's only 115 of them. And when you think about it, the player with the render distance of 8, say, that's 64 pi chunks loaded, which is about 196, 210-ish that are being loaded at a time, assuming, which I'm not entirely sure, that you load in a circle. I think that's the case, though. See over there. Yeah, circle. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think this will be too much of a tax on the server, which is good. Anyway, let's get on and put a couple of these on the end. I just used it again to go find my droppers. Works great. Very pleased with it. It's already saved me some time. Of course, probably not as much time as it took to build it, but still. The building of it was more fun than the walking back from the tunnels would have been, though. So yeah. Anyway, so I have my droppers, and I've got a couple hoppers, and I'm going off to the spawn chunks through my tunnel to head off. Yeah, to do what we just discussed. I don't think I can use the machine though for this, because I'm going to be messing around with how the chunks are being loaded while I'm there. What with the stuff, the fact that I'm using the chunk loading, changing the chunk loading. What I'm also going to be doing though is putting droppers on top of all these hoppers as I go down, so it's not going to be wasted. And also, it doesn't matter, by the way, if more than one item gets in these things. While I was doing the time lapse, I believe well, nah, anyway. That was a good sentence, by the way. Very well crafted. Anyway, yeah, going to be putting droppers on all of these and all the way down. Maybe there's something to this whole putting droppers here. I have found the spot that we need to attach the chunk, the toggleable chunk loader things to. I took a screenshot. I basically just went to the exact center of the chunks, of the spawn chunks, and counted out 8 chunks. And that is where we'll find the location to build these things. I think I'll build about probably 4 of them, just to make sure, just so that if someone's here, then they don't load further on. Just so that they don't load the let's see, the hoppers in the line a little bit further on. I don't want that to happen because that would load my base, or the chunks that my base the chunks that I've loaded in my base, and I don't want to cause that lag. So I'll build a couple of them, probably one right next to the edge, and then one maybe 3 chunks on from that, and then maybe another one 3 chunks on from that, and maybe another one 3 chunks on from that. I don't know, something like that though. Anyway, I need to find that chunk because I don't have the screenshot up right now. Can't do it right now. But yeah, I'll be doing that. I thought we'd build the first one on camera, not least because of the possible death from lava. So it's not really much of a okay, that might be a problem. Bedrock, the constant annoyance. Well, it's not that bad, no. No blocks on my bar. That was clever. stem that flow. Okay, and we can right-click the dispenser there. There we go. Good, one item there, and now if we, let's see, I'm going to have to go on the other side of this and hope there's no bedrock there, because I need to get on the other side in order to place the other circuitry. So, this is dangerous. Huh? Nope. Nope, nope. Let's pop that there, and be stupid. Yeah, okay, there we go. Good, good. Nothing, nothing redstone obstructy. Let's see. How does it go? I think that, and that's it. Yeah, okay. And then we need to power the block right there, right, that one. That's not going to be so easy with 0 redstone dust to spare. Yeah, that's not so good. Yeah, I think I'll have to move it a little. Finally, the first one is done. It wouldn't have taken long, except for the fact that I needed to clear out a whole bunch of that stuff. That stuff that's dripping from the ceiling. Yeah, that takes a little bit longer than you might expect, really. Anyway, so that's the first one, and this will actually already create a toggleable system, which is a big step. But now we want to make sure that people standing in the spawn chunks won't have the render distance high enough that it'll load things past this choke point, and therefore load the entire rest of the line and everything after it. So yeah, we want to make another one a bit farther on just to stop that. So I was thinking maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. See, this is 4 chunks past 8 chunks, which is 12. So most people, I think, have the render distance set to 16. So let's go to 17 chunks and then put another one. So that's 4, 5, 6 onto 8. That's 14, is it? Yeah. 14, 15, and 16. Yeah, you get the idea. 17. I think I'll go a little bit farther in case they're standing on the edge of the spawn chunks. Anyway, I'm just trying to account for the fact that people might actually move around sometimes. So now we have 2 of them set up, and all that's left for me to do is head back to the house. I've gotten rid of all the excess redstone. I dug a little bit further and put a couple more things in than I needed to, because I was going for coordinates at the center of spawn as opposed to the edge. So I took all those those unnecessary hoppers out, and now it's time for me to head back and I guess test it. Oh yeah, I don't know how that lava in the out in the distance got there, but apparently it did. So I guess that's something to fix. Well, I just found out a much better design for my toggleable thingy, which is good, except that it involves me running back down the tunnel. So instead of a redstone torch here, just the same, a non-inverted signal. And now now when the thing is on, when the thing is on, it's loaded, and when it's off, it's unloaded. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so now I've got a line of redstone that goes from all the way up top down to here. And you can see that it sort of stops right there. And that sort of brings me into my next quest, which is to fix all the stupid mistakes I've made. Like the one that you saw there. So now, guess what time it is? It's testing time. Okay, let's take this out, and maybe set it. Yeah, 2 minutes is fine. I'll pop that and toss one of them in, and it bounced. Good. I've been having a lot more success with that than I used to. Not entirely sure why. Okay. So, if my stuff has been done correctly, it's a hefty if, but if it has, then what should happen is the same thing that happened last time. But this time it's not going to be loaded while the thing isn't running. So I'm hoping that won't interfere with it teleporting us. Okay, once again I'll probably make another cut, but yeah, let's test this out. Well, I appear to have teleported a little bit oddly. Is it already done? No, it's not done teleporting yet. It's not done timing. Huh. That's interesting. It went pretty close, but not quite. Odd. Not sure why that would be. Get out of here. Okay, so here's a hypothesis. When I went through the nether... okay, so there are 115 chunks, I think, or somewhere around there, and that's about 10 seconds of, that's about 10 seconds before the chunk loaders engage. So if I unload the chunks before those 10 seconds have passed, it's possible that things will go a little wonky because the chunk loaders haven't come up yet. Or at least that's what I think might be the case. So I'll just be wary of that when I use it. I'll try it again, but I think that's about all the time I've got for today. Don't destroy that. So, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We got a lot done, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.